Hello, my name is Peyton. I work with the Lethbridge Public Library, and today I'm doing a video for our triangle quilt on how to join the rows together. So we had a video on how to make a row of triangles. So once we have our row finished, it'll look something like this. Lovely row of triangles. Little fox face right there. Looks good. And the goal today is to get it to look like this. So these are two rows I sewed together a while ago, and you can see a little pair of fox ears there, and there's the fox body and tail. So we're just gonna get them all together. And let's pull this one back here. So if you haven't already seen, we do have a video on how to get these triangles sewn together and why it's important to keep the seams open and how to sew like that. We also have a video on how to do the applique here for the eyes and the nose. So we have one on that, and now we're making another one. So many videos, but hey, when you live online like we're doing right now because of COVID, that's what the result is a ton of videos. So anyway, let's get started on ironing. So throughout this, there's been an emphasis on the open seam, and this is where we make that happen. So we're gonna iron them, and with the open, and I'm going the wrong way. They tend to open nicely in one direction. So I'm just gonna open it here like that, and just gonna move my tape to the side because I don't want to iron the tape because then the glue will stick to the fabric. The tape, by the way, is just marking which row I'm on, so this is row number 8. And it's important because the way I was doing it was I was going to do all the applique at the end and then sew the faces together. So I have all these loose rows. I have 9 to 12 behind me. Those are 1, 2, and 5 and 6. So if we iron the first row, and the reason I say it matters which way it goes. So nice and open here, you can see it's stiff, like none of my assistants compared to like this one. Doesn't look as nice. But here where they meet, this goes to the left. My left. That's important because as I sew, it'll go to the left. It'll go to the left, which is why I switched it over on the ironing board. So I'm just going to do the next one. Be careful, don't burn yourself, you know, first aid. Oh. Safety first. There. Have to watch. But they all just kind of open to the left, which is nice. It makes it a little easier, well, way easier to iron. And my iron, by the way, is set on cotton, so it's quite warm. It's the second highest, third highest setting on there, and it's dry. There's no water in my iron. You can use it if you like. It does help sometimes with particularly difficult seams. So I'm just going to show you what it's looking like so far. So you can see nice open seams. Lying flat. And there we go. I touched the iron. I'm alive. It's okay. No burns or anything. So this is where too, if you did this as you went, it would be a little easier to iron as well. I did not do it as I went. I just opened it with my hands, and you know, it worked. Working fine now. Just gonna move it down a little further again. was like, why is it hot? I haven't touched that part of the fabric, but it's because I touched that part of the ironing board. Oops. And you can, if you're not sure what to set your iron on, I mean, you can always Google it, but pretty sure most fabrics have instructions on how to care for them on their label. Come on, stay open. And I'm doing this fairly quick ironing job because it's gonna get sewn together. I'm not. That's not actually what I want to do. Oh, this is the one I messed up on. I messed up on one of mine. I'm like, why isn't it opening correctly? Yeah, it's because I messed up. So, because I didn't hold the seam open. Well, let me bring it to you. Hold on. Because I didn't hold the seam open on this one. It has this little triangle at the top that doesn't really know which way to go. You can see the two lines of white thread. So although I want to open it, I can't. And it'll just, like, it's not gonna be the end of my project by any stretch of the imagination. It's just gonna be a little lumpy and a little annoying to sew that part, and it won't lay nice. Which is why you want to make sure you open your seams when you sew it. And do this one again. I've never really understood, like, I shouldn't say that. I understand why we iron, but I've just never, and I know I'm going quick right now, but it never seems to last. So I'm like, what's the point if it's not gonna last? Just pin it down, right? But that's a personal opinion. So this was row 8, and I'm now gonna do row 9. If this is actually row 9, I should have them in order. Yep. Row 9. Then we just start all over again. Like I said, I have rows 8 through 12 behind me, so it's important that I label them so I can keep track of which row is which. And like sewing order, I mean, it doesn't hugely matter so long as you have a system that you understand and that makes sense to you and keeps you organized. Then, like, yeah, there's no real right or wrong way I'm finding. You know, in my days and days of experience. Oh. Moving it down. Down a little bit again, just so I can do that ending there nice. Normally when I do crafting like this, I'm the kind of person who doesn't like silences. I think they're a little awkward. So I'll usually have music playing, or I'll have my wireless headphones on and listen to an audiobook. Just a little something to keep me entertained while doing this. All right, so those are our 2 rows, and I'm just gonna unplug the iron because I won't need it again. And let me grab my pins. Here's my pins. Here's my other row. So this is row 8, and I went top down. So row 9 goes beneath it, and I know exactly where it goes because this fox head needs to be above the fox body and the tail. I'm just gonna make sure, yep, all my triangles match. So I'm just gonna line it up, and we're gonna pin it. I move my number to the middle. Once I get all my rows sewn together, I'll be taking the numbers off because then it'll just be the top half versus the bottom half, and it'll be easy to keep track of what's what. It's just because I have all these loose rows everywhere. So this one, so they're meeting here, and you always sew good sides together. So we're gonna flip it on top. Take our pins and start pinning it. And I always pin, thinking of how I'm gonna be sewing this. So I'm gonna be sewing this on this side. That's the side I'm gonna pin from, so I can pull them. And I always sew the first point of contact right there. And then for these, and this is where I was saying, like, I don't fully understand ironing if you pin it right. So what I'm gonna do now is take a pin, and I'm gonna pin on every point of connection, making sure my seams are the right way. And I actually pin through the seam and out so that my seams are being held together in the open method they are. And because, again, this is 4-inch triangles, and they have their quarter allowance off, so they're 3.5-inch triangles. So they're close enough that I don't have to pin in between them. I could, I choose not to. So making sure that these are open the right way, we're just gonna pin them through. All right, do one more. So again, line it up, make sure it's where I want it. Open my seams, make sure they're where I want them, and then pin it, possibly. I'm gonna go through the way I want, so I'm just gonna pin them again. There we go. So I'm gonna do that all the way down these 2 rows, and then we're gonna sew them together. So if you wanna meet me in a little bit, we'll do part 2 of the joining the triangle rows by actually joining the triangle rows. Thank you again. My name is Peyton, and I work with the Lethbridge Public Library, and this is another tutorial on the triangle quilt.